it's differentiation. Like if you've been in education anywhere between 1 and 30 years, you probably heard this term, and at times it can really mean, it doesn't mean, but it feels like every kid should be working on something differently. But here's the big piece for me. Differentiation, it's really hard, especially when you've got like 32 kids in one classroom or 37 kids in one classroom. So personally speaking here, one of the things that makes differentiation so hard, like normally I would teach to the middle and then kind of try and extend learning and work with those kids and then try and differentiate and scaffold the learning. And at the end of the day, I never really truly extend the learning for those students that need the lesson to be extended. And to be honest, I would say many times our I would say students who are performing well are really as underserved as many as are underperforming students as well, because we don't necessarily meet the needs where they are. So instead of kind of teaching to the middle and going both ways, one thing that's really kind of helped me in terms of revising my craft is to teach to the highest possible level ever, trying to reach all students. Because when we teach to the highest possible student, we're not only meeting their needs, but we're also allowing our students, some of our most underserved students, to really have access to some of the highest quality tasks. And so when I give students these high quality tasks, what I find is that the task itself really has a beautiful piece of differentiation embedded into that lesson. You know as well as I do that if you don't teach third grade, like if you teach third grade, you don't teach third grade. You teach 9-year-olds who function at like a seventh grade level and a pre-K or a kindergarten level, and it makes it really, really hard. So instead, I've started teaching to the highest student, and I realize that I can then keep backfilling and putting the supports in place if and when they're needed. Julie Dixon, good friend, she had talked about how differentiation should be just in time, not just in case. A lot of the times we take all of our differentiation and we drop it into play at the beginning part of the lesson, and what we've done is we've robbed so many students from that mathematical experience that we really want them to engage in. So instead, when you have those great ideas for differentiation, hold on to them just a little bit longer, and let's assume that our kids can do something before we assume that they can't do something. Holding off on that differentiation as long as possible, because what tends to happen is we tend to put in the scaffolding way too soon. So we scaffold, we scaffold, we scaffold, we scaffold, and then when we take away all the scaffolding, well, we get super frustrated because the structure of understanding has completely fallen to the ground. So let's not be too soon to put the differentiation into play. Let's kind of give access to those high quality tasks for all of our students, because then we're truly meeting students where they are, and then we're teaching at the speed of their learning.